What up, what up? It's the Athletic Hockey Show for January 28th, 2026. We are recording this, boys, in the PM on January the 27th, 2026. It's our first night record of the season, and it is taking place on a particularly fortuitous evening, is it not? We'll start... I almost said the local game. It might as well be with you two. Buffalo 7, Toronto 4 closes out a 0-4-1 road trip, or homestand rather, for the Leafs. We'll talk about the Sabres later, but as always, we need to ask the question. DGB, let's start with you. What does this mean for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Tonight's game doesn't mean anything, but the homestand means it's over. It's done. They, to their credit, had fought back into the playoff mix with a strong month, I guess, since the Christmas break, maybe a little less than that, but they had run off the sort of stretch they needed to get back into it. And then they blew all that in a 5-game homestand in which they lost all 5. 4 in regulation. Really 4 blowouts almost, including the Friday night game, which was the biggest game of the regular season, just as far as the fan base goes, with Mitch Marner coming back, where they just didn't show up. I mean, just seemed confused that there was a game going on. The sort of performance that you see that and you go, oh, okay, they're done. And then Colorado, I mean, I don't know if anyone from the Colorado Avalanche even showered after that game. They probably didn't need to. That's how much effort it took to come into Toronto and beat the Leafs. And then tonight, I mean, this is 2 teams headed in complete opposite directions, and maybe the Sabres flashed the high beams on the way by, but that was about it. This Leafs team is done.
25-12 goal differential on the upset, by the way. Just want to say it.
Oops. This feels very foreign for this team. We're approaching late January, and usually the talk is, who are they going to get to bolster this thing up? And who are they going to get in the first round? And are they going to get past that opponent? And how is this year going to be different? We look for reasons why this is going to be the year that they do it. And now they have to face the fact that they're not a good team. If they were to even sneak into the playoffs, which I don't think is going to happen, they're not going anywhere. So they have to make a decision here to start to recuperate some stuff. All they've traded is prospects and picks. And now they're without Marner, who's playing for Vegas, and they're first place in the Pacific, and it's not any better. It's actually way worse than it ever was. So if your mind wasn't made up prior to this homestand should have been the deciding factor, that you lose 5 games in a moment where you had to win some because you're going on the road and you got to go out west, and you went 0-4-1. Mm-hmm. You have your answer. Like it's there for you, and you don't have to search very far.
And they're bad in some of the same ways that they were bad at the start of the season. I know Dom tweeted some stuff out statistically, but they're sub 40x goal percentage over their last 10 games, which is abysmal. But they were pretty close early on too. Like, this is the fulfillment of the team that they showed us to. They showed themselves to be, I think, in October. And of course, you're not going to just you're not going to pull the chute and sell on October 28th or whatever. I'm not suggesting that, that was a viable move, but it's a pretty bad hockey team. And they've been a pretty bad hockey team at various points throughout this. So yeah, now they're 8 points behind everybody who matters. That's ugly. TSN broadcast was rightfully super harsh on them. I saw Jesse Blake from the...
No way.
Yeah.
The TSN broadcast was harsh on the Leafs?
I mean...
Wow, I don't know anything about that.
You should text your boy. Dog, tell him, great job. Really tough.
I will.
Unexpectedly
See,
tough stuff. I really thought he would have liked the effort that they put out there today. I was shocked.
You know what's funny? Now that we're on this, I don't mean to cut you off, but teams like want the Leafs treatment sometimes from us. Be careful what you wish for, because we rip the Leafs sometimes, and it's like we don't do it to a lot of we don't really do it to the smaller market teams, but for some reason, when the Leafs open themselves up to it, it's like
it's fine.
It's a green light special. Like you can get it. It's just it's kind of the way the business works.
Like the place is emptying out. Like the arena was emptier than usual with 5.5 minutes left, and the people who were there were booing. I know Jesse Blake from the Steve Dangle podcast tweeted, a video showing that much. I mean, this feels like, Sean, I know you said the homestand overall was the signal, but tonight, not just because of the way that they played, but because of the team that did it to them and the stakes that had been set for this game specifically, whether or not we buy that it was as important as Craig Berube and company made it out to be. This game in particular, man, this feels, we don't want to put nails in coffins in January, but sure, it feels close enough.
It's close enough. And look, there's a week before the Olympic trade deadline, and then you got a couple of weeks. So I don't know when the selling needs to begin. But it certainly should. But I mean, you talk about tonight. I honestly feel like it was good news for the Maple Leafs that you didn't get any real big loud chants about firing anyone. There wasn't and maybe it's just because Berube and Treliving, those 3-syllable names are harder to chant than the 1 or 2s. Maybe that's what's protecting them. But remember, this was the last home game before the Olympics. Leaf fans are not going to see this team up close for another almost a month.
And they're going to figure out like real soon that tree is 1 syllable and chief is 1 syllable. And that works well.
Cut down the tree
with the word
that's
fire. If you're trying to chant stuff.
Doesn't it make you think about last year and how all in they were? Like, that's as all in as you can be. Mm-hmm. You're doing one last dance with Marner. You're trading for Carlo. You're trading for Lawton. You got picks. You got prospects going out the door. Fraser Minton, see you later. Grabenkin, see you later. And now, like, this is always the cautionary tale of quote-unquote all in. And what happens when you run into Florida and you lose in that situation? Now you're left picking up the pieces, and we can diagnose it, right? Like, everyone can diagnose it. But the solution, I mean, it's not exactly like outlined specifically, but you can figure it out. Like Calle Jarnkrok, if you could trade him, he's a UFA. Scott Lawton, you might have to trade Scott Lawton. Like, you might have to trade Bobby McMahon. Like, you might have to see if there's a team that wants to have.
By
Troy
the way,
Stecher.
we have Elliot Friedman and Bob Stauffer both are already connecting Bobby McMahon with the Oilers specifically. Like,
right.
That's where we are in the season. The Bobby McMahon trade rumors are a twirling on Jan 27.
And they're not wrong for thinking that and saying that. This is where Toronto's at. UFAs, you got to get something for them. I'm sorry. Like, and you have to start to. Toronto is the team that fits the definition of a retool for me. I don't think it's completely broken. This is not something where you tear it down to the studs and you say we got to start all over again. There's a decent foundation there. Let's call a spade a spade. Matthews, Nylander, Tavares will give you good minutes. Like there's some. This is not. You got to start from scratch again, but you have to do something.
You know who they should take notes from? Kyle Dubas.
There you go. No kidding.
I would rather retool around Austin Matthews at 28 or whatever than Sidney Crosby at 37. Like, take some. They did it. Why can't you?
Okay, so
are people paying attention to Geno Malkin and what he's doing this year? Because they should be. This guy's unbelievable this year.
They should be.
That team is good with him and bad without him. Like, that's like been the takeaway of the last like 6 weeks. Yeah.
So I'm going to do the thing that I love to do most, and I'm going to grab this thing and pull it back to the Maple Leafs. Kyle Dubas is not walking in that door to fix this.
He walked out of it.
Should Brad Treliving be the guy who starts this process?
No.
Given that there is a multi-week break in the season coming up. Is Brad Treliving the guy that gets to start fixing the mess that Brad Treliving and others created?
I'll answer this for you. If he accepts where the team is at, and says, I fully understand that this is something, there needs to be changes and we need to get some draft capital and maybe a prospect or two, and we need to change things. But if you're going to say that, no, we can do this, we're not giving up, we're going to throw more at this, then no, then he shouldn't. But I think if he looks at it the right way, which the way everyone would look at it, and says there's going to need to be some changes, then you can probably say so, because I don't think he's had that moment yet. He's been in try and salvage this thing mode from the moment he got there, and now you're not there anymore.
And this is Keith Pelly, with the guy that none of us had heard of a year and a bit ago, but suddenly he became the big boogeyman of Toronto sports. And look
funny.
Out, this guy's going to be there. This guy is going to bloom over everything. And I think we've seen him maybe 3 times in public. A couple of which probably would have been, with the Blue Jays when things were going good. Time for Keith to make some calls. Time for him to take off the glasses, give him a little fog and a little clean, put him back on, fresh set of eyes, and let's actually try something that has not been tried when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the last decade. Let's try to make some tough decisions. Let's try not to take the path of least resistance again, like always, and let's go out there and actually make some tough calls. And the Olympic break is an interesting one, because that there's no trades, of course, but you can talk, you can get things set up, you can put names out there, right? How often does it happen that every year there's a couple of guys whose names just seem to percolate in the media? Scott Laughton was one of them last year. By the time the Leafs gave up a first-round pick for him, you're going like, who is this guy? And I'll say, Scott Laughton's grown on me. I'm enjoying the season he's having. He's one of the few guys I like watching on this team. But let's get back to that, Matt. Let's get that name out there again and see. Maybe it's not a first-round pick this year. Maybe it is. Who knows? But let's see what you can get for some of these guys. I mean, we always hear about how this is this big media market in Toronto, and everybody always talks about the Leafs and all this stuff. Okay, great. Use that to your advantage. Get some of these guys' names out there, and let's see if you can start creating a market for them. Or you sit back and you go, we want to see what happens after the break, and you do it the easy way, which is what they've done on every big pivotal decision they've had to make for the last decade.
It's amazing that, this is the domino effect. Is it not the domino effect of one player? And I know people are sick of hearing about it, but okay, guys have gotten older, guys have aged. Every team has gotten older, really. I don't know, maybe there's a few that have brought in some younger players, but generally players get older every year. And this is the fallout from Marner leaving. It can't be. It can't be this much for one player, but man, it just feels like that decision has sent this team into a place that they can't recover from at this point. It's funny, I just called the game, Habs Vegas, and Marner's out there. He's playing center. He's playing the point on the power play. He's kind of doing everything. He's fine. It's fine, but it's almost weird for him as well. And he was getting booed louder almost tonight in Montreal than he was in Toronto at times.
It wasn't that bad on Friday.
Really strange.
The hype, that was not a rough ride for Mitch Marner at all.
No.
Tough night for the people who love to say, how toxic Leaf fans are and how they're so hard on the team. But good night for the people who want to say the Leaf fans are too quiet and all this other stuff. So
I'm siding with Leafs fans. I'm saying they're not that toxic, and they do have, in fact, a viable beef with the Department of Player Safety of the Nylander sub. This is crazy.
Crazy.
We live in strange times.
Yeah, no kidding.
Welcome aboard, buddy. It's terrible. You're gonna hate it.
I mean, Toronto ultimately, this goes back to what I said before. They shouldn't surprise anybody. Last year, they were a team that were floated by 3 things primarily: elite talent. You take Mitch Marner out of that equation. bunch of career years, high shooting percentage. They're a PDO team. I know people hate saying that, but bunch of guys on season long heaters to some extent. Remove that from the equation. And you had Stolarz, who, when he was in the lineup last year, looked like a Vezina candidate. He wallpapered over whatever mistakes that shooting percentage and elite talent couldn't take care of. And what do we got now? Less talented players, less hot players, and a goaltender who, between Stolarz and Wall, obviously, who was in net tonight. Guys who just aren't good enough to bail, who haven't been good enough to bail them out on a consistent enough basis. I'm not surprised by this. I don't. It sounds lame, but it's true.
I'll say this. Mm-hmm. I'll say this about the Leafs, and I think the Rangers fall into this category as well. Just because you're original six and you play in a big market, you got a really fancy arena, and you're always known for kind of being a big spender and being in the mix, you're not entitled to be in the mix. You actually have to put it together and be good. And the Rangers have recognized that. They put out the letter. They did letter 2.0, and the Leafs are basically going to have to recognize that with their actions here. I'm sorry, they're at that point. And so we'll see what they do about it, but this is where they're at. This is the cards they're dealt, and now they have to make the most of it.
So let me just ask you this. Do we need Brad Treliving to write a letter to kick off this seller's market? Or does he just go up to the press box and lean over and give the finger to all the players on the ice to let them know? Because, that's $5,000. I don't know how much it costs to get a good professionally scripted letter put together. It's probably pretty similar.
Just if you write a letter, just make sure it's on Boston Pizza letterhead. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you're Toronto, don't you look at this Buffalo Sabres team and say they didn't change that much from year to year? They traded Peterka, they brought in Doan, and they got Kesselring, and Kesselring's been injured most of the year. Yeah. And you're like, same goalies pretty much, aside for Colton Ellis, same D, same forwards, but they're dummying people.
Doan looks, there's shifts that he takes on a nightly basis where you're like, this guy's good.
Gamer. That guy's a culture changer. He's a kid. He's a culture changer.
I've said this a couple of times in a couple of places. And TSN was talking about it tonight, so I'm upset because I thought I was going to this was going to be my thing. I'm planting the flag right now. Kevyn Adams is going to get GM of the Year votes. You don't think it's going to happen? Kevyn Adams is going to show up on at least one ballot.
Who votes on that?
The GMs vote on it.
GMs vote on it.
The GMs
really?
There's going to be a GM out there. Remember, and there's precedent. Scott Housen got votes the year he got fired. Some GM out there is going to look at his fellow fallen colleague and say, everybody blamed him. They stuck the knife in his back, but his team was secretly good, just like my team is secretly good if everybody would just get off my back.
Actually, nobody should ever get fired. That's the big takeaway here.
Well, that's either the takeaway or the takeaway is you can fire your GM and change literally nothing else and completely transform your team.
Or just play like a team who gives a what. Like when Toronto went on that, nice. They were 8-0-2 run, and it's amazing how much you can make up for when you just skate and work and compete, and you're urgent to win, and then 0-4-1 later, and you're like, what the hell was that? That's nowhere near what we thought.
Every night. I mean, come on. What kind of
I wasn't an every night kind of guy. I was a press box. I was every night in the press box. I don't know what it's like to do that every night.
Sabres.
Neither do they.
Every night. Sabres, man. 19-3-1 in their last 23. 91-56 goal differential.
That's so
in
good.
That streak.
I'm so happy for those fans and that fan base and that building for that first playoff game. Oh, boy, whoever it's against, even if it's. Even if they're playing Tampa and they're down the series 2-0 for Game 3, who cares?
That series will take place. That series will take place.
Get Montreal.
As of today, it's Detroit. As of today, it's the two longest playoff droughts going head to head in the first round. Wouldn't that be something? Hockeytown and Buffalo. That would be really cool.
That's the series that we need.
We're going to see the top 3 Norris Trophy vote getters in that series. It's Moritz Seider. It's Rasmus Dahlin, and it is, of course, Matthias Samuelsson.
Don't you mean
and potentially the top 3 GM of the year vote getters as well?
Manoris Norrison.
Don't you mean Noritz Cider, as they refer to him, I believe, sometimes? And I think that's Daniela Bruce came up with that on a Red Wings broadcast. Yeah.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough about the Leafs, boys. 23 minutes. Good God. We have a trade to discuss. We're going to do that after the break. Stick around. All right, we are back. Boys, we have another Metro Division, Metro Area trade to discuss. It is another one that involves the New York Islanders, who traded for Carson Soucy from Seattle a couple days back. This one, I think, is a little more interesting, and it's a somewhat unexpected because the Devils moved Ondřej Palát. It seemed like he had an unmovable contract. They found a way to shuffle that off to the Islanders. They get back Maxim Tsyplakov and a third-round pick. Well, the Islanders rather got a third and a sixth for taking on Palat's contract. Sean, let's start with you. I guess what are the initial thoughts here? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised are you that we saw Ondřej Palát move?
10 out of 10 for Tom Fitzgerald. He clears off a bad contract, and now he's got room to go get Quinn Hughes. Go do it.
Yeah, what's the date? What's the date on the calendar? This is December 11th, isn't it?
I'm being told that maybe it's a bit late on that. Look, I don't. I do like it for the Devils. This is to get out from under $6 million next year at the cost of a third-round pick. Essentially, is a good bit of business. We have seen teams have to pay significantly more than that to get out of similar contracts. So, in that sense, good job. But if I'm a Devils fan, I'm sitting there going, great, where was this 2 or 3 months ago or in the off season where we could have maybe done something significant and not be doing this in the second half of what looks like it's going to be a lost season.
I wonder if this is the first time in NHL history that 2 trades were completed in a row where none of the players have to actually move.
Yep.
Like, think about that. They don't have to move their homes. Like, they're just reporting to a different stadium. Soucy, Tsyplakov, and Palát.
He got on the LIRR and just bombed over, man. It's easy.
It's hilarious. It's kind of crazy, right? And you know the way these teams do road games. Essentially, it's like a black car picks you up in the morning. You go to the different rink, and then you go take a nap at the hotel. Then you go play the game, and then like a car pulls and brings you back to your place. It's pretty wild how it works in that area. So it is, it's interesting that it's these 3 teams doing trades, but we just went on and on, right? We just went on and on about the Leafs and how bad they're playing and how it's time to sort of reshuffle things. New Jersey's got 1 less point, and New Jersey's got a minus 22 goal differential, and Toronto's got a minus 9 goal differential. So, hey, good. Cleared some money off your books. That's great. You needed to, because clearly that got in the way of things the last time, and also some trade protection and things of that nature. What's the next move for Jersey? Is it throwing more at this group, or are they going to sort of reevaluate where they're at? Because, like, I remember us talking about New Jersey earlier this season, thinking, well, it hasn't been their year in the past. It's not their year this year. How much do you keep throwing at it and saying, like, well, we're right there? I don't know, but it doesn't feel like they're any closer or should be any closer.
It's the weirdest part of this deal, I think, to some extent, is that, and I get it, Devils fans were happy to move on from Ondřej Palát. Like, felt like a bad contract when they signed him to it, frankly, and it has only been proven as such over the last couple, to the point where now 6 hours ago it seemed like it was unmovable. So, golf clap for moving on from it if you're Tom Fitzgerald. But like, the amount of flowers that I saw thrown at the Devils for doing this is kind of bizarre, because Sean, you alluded to this, man. This is late. It's a day late in a dollar short. And like, yes, it frees up money, or it frees up cap for the summer. And it, potentially if they want to dive back in and make some kind of short-term win now move. Like they have the flexibility for it now, but like the damage is done, man. So I look at this and this isn't some fleece job by Fitzgerald. Like he had to send assets back, to the Islanders too, and then the timing of it just makes it feels like a wash at best. I think in a lot of ways I like it more for the Islanders. I mean, I know not to pull back the curtain too much, but the three of us were talking before the show. I feel like we're kind of on the same page with that. Like I like this as much for the Islanders as I do for the Devils.
Yeah, for the Islanders feels like a case with this, and especially with the Soucy deal, where it's like a new GM comes in and he's got a team that nobody thinks is going to be all that good yet. You've just picked first overall, and you sort of look at it and you go, all right, well, let's see what the players do, and can they earn some support from me? Can they earn some reinforcements? And they have. They've gone out. The Islanders have been one of the best stories of the first half, and now you're sitting there going, okay, look, I'm not going to trade our best prospects away for help right now. I'm not going to go and be trading first round picks, but I'll bring in some help. Yeah, I'll go and get you guys some veterans to plug in and help you make that playoff push, because you have earned that, and they have. And so really, you could look at this and say, traded away a third to get Soucy, got a third back in the Palát deal, added some veterans, took on some cap hit. But cap hit you could afford.
Yeah,
it's not a bad bit of work. I don't mind it.
I find it interesting for the Islanders because, like, over the last couple of years, didn't everything feel stale with the Islanders? Like, this is as good as they are, right? They're just kind of stuck here, and then they've changed some things around. Sorokin's been unbelievable. Horvat has had a monster year. Barzal's still doing his thing. You go up and down that lineup, and you're like, guys are playing better. It's predominantly like a lot of the same guys. There's a few guys added here and there, like Drouin or Anthony Duclair, but like those guys aren't massive needle movers. But everything seems to be working there. And then you're like, okay, Ondřej Palát was really good for Tampa on their runs when they won Stanley Cups. Ultimately, that's the reason why he gets a deal that pays him $6 million a year. You're like, everyone's finding it on the island. Can Ondřej Palát find it as well? Like, is there just something going on there where guys are finding that renewed sense of purpose? So, like, to DGB's point, like, I could see that being the case. And if you get into a playoff situation, maybe he has a little bit of that pixie dust level left over from the Tampa days. Who knows? Like, there's a reason why teams want to pay and acquire winners. You get labeled as a winner, there's a job for you. Someone wants to bring in the winning culture and see if that rubs off on their group. And he has that.
But we should also say, though, 20 goals one time for Ondřej Palát, 60 points one time, and both of those were over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about a guy who's a couple years removed.
Sneaky old for sure.
He's I don't even know if he's sneaky anymore.
Whatever.
He's creaky old is what he is.
We're 13 months away from them sending Ondřej Palát to somebody for a third rounder when they retain 50%. Like they'll turn that into something. I think I've talked myself. I didn't do the trade grade on this. I think it was Myrtle and Harmon. But I think I've talked myself into it over the last couple of minutes. Where I think I'm looking more for the Islanders. Very, very interesting. Frankie, what was it? 4-3, 3-2.
Yeah.
Habs over Vegas. That was in overtime. That was the game you watched. It was Jake Evans with the OT.
Guess who scored again tonight? Cole Caufield.
A small American.
Now 10 goals since January 2nd, when USA named their Olympic roster.
Because he's using up all his energy now because he knows he's got a rest coming up. It's an unfair advantage for Montreal American players that they can just leave it all on the ice.
I love the fact that that the NHL gives us a very easily findable option to sort scorers by nationality. So let's take a look at this. United States. Sort by goals. Jason Robertson, 30. Tied at the top with Cole Caufield, who has 30.
They're both on the team. right?
Third place. Yeah, they're there too. One of the extra forwards in that group is Alex DeBrincat, third in American.
Oh, he's on the team too. Okay,
Yeah. No.
for
It happened.
there
You
too.
just missed it.
Okay.
Tage fourth, Matt Boldy fifth. Okay, so 3 of the top 5 American-born goal scorers are staying home. It looks
Crazy.
like. Sweet.
Crazy. Yeah.
And Tage
Who can
Thompson
push-
wasn't on the last team. I mean, he had to sit out one tournament to finally get his chance.
And Thompson went to the Worlds, did he not? Like that was his
Yes.
thing. He went to the Worlds and he's like, USA, I'm here and I'm pounding my chest, and now he's on the team.
I think if I would have showed up at Worlds over the summer, I probably would have made the team. That seems like that was it was that easy. Like that's all these guys needed to do. The question is who in the next 8 days or whatever, who is going to make this look even worse? My money's on Cutter Gauthier, who's tied for 10th in goals by American-born players. It's him tied with Kyle Connor. Let's see him going on a little spell here. Maybe finish with more than Matthews or Larkin or one of those guys.
Yeah,
Sweet.
It's
Sweet.
you know what? Good for Caufield, man. He's got an infectious enthusiasm for the game. Like not just scoring goals. He's very enthusiastic for scoring goals. It's very evident. It's clear. He's on a 6-game goal streak. He's got 9 goals in that span. But he's a better overall player than I think people give him credit for. Like this perception that he's just a one-dimensional goal scorer it's not true. He's a really good player. So good for him, man. Like he's class. Like he's never going to say anything to like show up the situation. Just doing his thing, helping the team win, go USA. He's all class.
You just remember that. Just remember Cole Caufield, 30 goals in 52 games or whatever it is, and he's a nice kid too. Just remember that, American hockey fans. Whenever this team's losing games by 1 goal and making you very, very angry pre and post game in the process, it's gonna be great.
It'll be fine because you've got the veteran leadership of the apparently 57-year-old Jackson Lacombe.
Leave Jackson Lacombe out of this.
We didn't want to take a second photo there, guys. Like maybe just one more. Jackson,
What's
you
wrong
want to
with
look
the
like you're
photo?
not having the worst day of your life right now?
Brock
No?
Nelson looks
Okay.
100. Like whatever. They're doing these guys dirty with these with these photos.
I got to tell you, I got a real issue with Brock Nelson because he needs to stop scoring because he's going to
Yeah.
make me update my material about, Brock. Oh, yeah, you're going to have all these guys and Brock Nelson's there. And, meanwhile, he's on his way to 45 goals this year. So
Brock
Settle
Nelson
down,
writing
Brock.
it right. He's making us realize that it was actually fair and smart for them to write his name in pen for this roster. Like
that was
summer.
clearly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Frankie, what's up with you for the rest of the week? Do you have are you working more? Can you go?
You know
home?
what? We got a really cool night in Montreal on Thursday. It's Habs, Avalanche, and the Avs are wearing Nordiques jerseys here in Montreal. Now, I haven't been able to confirm if they're going to wear the blue ones, but I think it would be really cool if the Habs are wearing their reds and the Avs are wearing the blue Nordiques. I think that's must-see stuff. So we'll see how that kind of unfolds.
That's interesting.
That could be a fun one. Be careful on those post-intermission skates before the period, the warm-ups. They get a little ugly between those two teams.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some nostalgia in the air. So yeah, that's what I got going on. I got to give a little shout out if you guys don't mind.
No, sorry. Goodbye.
I had a great time with Kenny Daniels doing the Red Wings broadcast.
Oh man,
filling in for Mickey. It was so much fun. Those guys are like, you can totally understand why they're ranked the top show in the NHL every single year. So that was really cool. But as you know, it was Snowmageddon in Toronto on that Sunday. Every flight was canceled. Like it was a disaster getting out of there. And my flights were going to be like jammed up until Tuesday. And obviously I had work. I had a Habs game to do, stuff going on. So that the Red Wings were kind enough to fly me back to Detroit on the plane. And then I rented a car and drove back to Toronto through the snowstorm. So just like really classy. You know what? I was just happy to get home. Like just first class by them. It was really nice. So big thank you.
I'm gonna gas you up. I'm gonna gas you up here too, man. Like I had multiple people on Twitter and wherever else. You know, I had one person in particular on Blue Sky was like, "Tell Frankie we loved him. Nice. Did a great job." So whatever.
Well, that's good. It's a unbelievable like team effort there doing that show. They're awesome.
Kenny Daniels, fun time.
Legend.
Take it easy, bud. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya, fellas.
All right, there goes Frankie. Me and McIndoe are going to tell you what we learned in a minute. But before that, you folks listen to us, and now we want to hear from you. We're asking you to fill out a quick survey about you and your podcast habits by going to theathletic.com/survey26. That's SURVEY26. 3 lucky entries will win a $100 Amazon gift card, which is great. And whether you're a long-term listener or a new one, we want your feedback. So again, that is theathletic.com/survey26, SURVEY26. The link is also in our episode description. Do that and we'll be your best friends forever. All right. Sean, I'm going to start. Here's what I learned.
What have we learned, Sean?
We touched on this with Frankie. It was a very upsetting time release realization I think I had this afternoon around the time we found out, or last couple of days when we found out that William Nylander had been fined $5 G's for shooting the bird to a cameraman from the press box. I thought that was ridiculous enough as is. And then we saw Mikhail Sergachev. Was it the same day? Or was it the day after? Do something.
Let's say 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours later, let's say. Do the same thing to a cameraman coming off the ice. Like I don't know if I needed the Sergachev of it all for it to really land. I have made fun of you,
yes,
on mic and off for years, over the.
Many people have.
It was fair and warranted. I thought at the time.
Yeah.
About Department of Player Safety's having an anti-Leafs bias, but I think I'm starting to come around because that is 100%.
Welcome to the resistance.
Peros or whoever, somebody important was watching that broadcast and was like, eh.
Yeah. George Peros put out the Department of Player Safety put out a statement. I should say I've got no problem with finding guys for flipping the bird at a camera. I think it's a dumb thing to do. I'm pretty sure Willie Nylander didn't endanger any players by doing that. I mean, I know he's got the.
I think Chris Tanev might have sprained his neck when he whirled it around to yell at him at some point.
That Chris Tanev's lower body injury from kicking Nylander under the table, going, "Stop smiling! You're gonna get us all."
Toe.
Yeah,
we're gonna get fined.
So well, welcome to the resistance, man. It's where the bandwagon is filling up slowly, but good seats are still available.
Does it bother? Like the other questions though, does it bother me that the Department of Player Safety has it over the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that is a whole nother debate. So we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, you buy the premise, you just don't know if you buy that it's a negative thing.
Not sure if I think it's a bad thing or not.
Fair enough. I learned two things. I learned that my house is super dark at night as we record this, and I'm sitting here with like 8 spotlights on me, and I still look like I'm sitting in a closet somewhere. I also learned that the Canucks are in full tank mode. Not surprisingly, they moved on from Sherwood. Thatcher Demko shut down for the season, which obviously he is hurt, but that is you can play it cautiously when the towel's being thrown in. And we got one of my favorite things in sports, which is Evander Kane being told, "Go and find your own trade. Your agent can start calling other teams.
Go
Look,
for
I
it.
mean, this happens in hockey a lot, and it happens in other sports. It's not a hockey thing. But I just love the idea of a GM being like, dude, do you think I'm not trying to trade this guy? Nobody wants him. But you know what? Go ahead. Here's 31 phone numbers. You call around. You see if anybody wants this guy. And let me know if they do. And as somebody who often, when I'm looking at like my own to-do list, and I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody I could just offload some of this to.
Also, for anybody who pays attention to the NBA, it comes on the heels of an all-time great quote from Mike Dunleavy, who's an exec with the Golden State Warriors. Not quite a similar situation, but, there's an unhappy player, Jonathan Kuminga, who wants to be traded. Dunleavy said, and again, all-timer, he said, well, when there's a trade demand, there has to be demand from other teams to acquire the player. So they're like, we're trying. I don't know, like we're doing our best here. Like, work with us. Do so, like give us something to work with here.
Like, you would assume that they would tell the agent, like, here's like a minimum cutoff of what we're looking for, right? But even then, I mean, the agent just comes back and he's like, yeah, Columbus said they would do a 5th round pick. Okay, thanks.
Okay. See you later.
Get on that.
We don't want to deal with this anymore. We have a goalie who we signed for $500 million in 25 years that has bad hips and knees and groins and whatever else.
Yeah.
You have bigger fish to fry here in Vancouver.
A lot bigger.
Sean, what post is going to be live on the website by the time people listen to this?
I don't know that there will be one, actually. This week is weird
lazy.
Because A, I'm lazy, and although you're welcome, if you want to write a post for me, you can go ahead.
Thank you.
See,
no,
I did the thing. I'm also doing double newsletter duty this week, so that is
okay. Talk about someone who's lazy.
The lazy James Myrtle has refused to do the newsletter. And I mean, we were in disarray. We thought we were going to have to scrap the whole thing, but I bravely stood up and I said, I will do it. And so, yeah, that's if you're somebody who, and a lot of people have said this, you love the newsletter, but you feel like the Tuesday editions are a bit better than Friday. This coming Friday is going to be one of the good ones. See if you can spot the differences.
I can sub for the Tuesday edition. I can't do Friday. I'm busy. Sorry.
Boom. Sean Gentili's doing next Tuesday and every following Tuesday for the remainder of the season.
I've done it a couple times. If
fun, right?
It's fun enough,
right?
Yeah. All right. Good luck with that. Good luck to Frankie wherever he is. He's gets to fly back to Toronto and shovel his driveway probably. So thanks to him. And thanks to you fine folks for listening to the Athletic Hockey Show. We're back next Wednesday. Probably not recorded on Tuesday night, but you never know. And Haley and I have the next show, which we'll record as anticipated and as typically scheduled on Thursday. So we'll see you then.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell to stay informed and catch new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And in the meantime, you can join our Discord community. We'll see you there.